pogroms underway in Syria are targeted at Syrians the terrorist government of Al-Jolani regards as the enemy. It is estimated that over 7,000 people have been murdered, so far. Of course, Western media is dutifully saying that Al-Jolani is just fighting against Assad loyalists, who are the cause of all this violence. This is a lie. Assad has no loyalists in Syria, because Syrians largely see Assad as a traitor who left his people in the hands of terrorists. Reality, as we can all see on social media, tells a brutally different story. Al-Jolani's gangs are killing ordinary people. Men, women and even children. Who can hardly be identified as Assad loyalists. The killers are Al-Jolani's HTS gangs who are systematically carrying out a pogrom against the Alawite minority in the northwest of Syria. As investigative journalist, Nidal Hamadi, has recently pointed out, this systematic slaughter is part of the greater Western plan. In fact, when Al-Jolani identified as a leader of al-Qaeda terrorists, he prepared a plan called, the expulsion of minorities from Syria and Muslim countries. It's a carefully laid out plan on how to free Syria and then all Muslim countries, of populations that are regarded as the enemy. In this document, Al-Jolani calls for a program to be put in place that involves impoverishment, unemployment and then systematic persecution first of the Alawites, then of the Shiites, then the Christians, then Ishmaelites, the Murshidiyya, and finally, the Yazidis who are Kurds bordering Iraq, and who number 250,000, that is to say, a number practically equal to the Syrian Shiites. The HTS murderers make their victims get down on all fours and bark and howl like dogs before killing them. This is a very old humiliation practice that was invented by the Ottomans when they were killing Armenians. So, how is it that the HTS is carrying out an old Ottoman practice? These massacres, in fact, are being directed by Turkey, the real master of Al-Jolani. It is Turkish intelligence that now runs Syria. Turks appoint the ministers, the Syrian military commanders, the governors, and the security officials in Syria. And Turkey is currently training 250 HTS diplomats who will soon be appointed throughout the world. Al-Jolani himself was trained by the CIA, Robert Ford was his handler. And he was then installed to do what the United States and Turkey want. Both Turkey and the United States want to balkanize Syria and create small enclaves, or countries, which can be easily controlled and manipulated to favor the Greater Israel Project, which benefits both Turkey and the United States. The silver lining in all this brutality is that Al-Jolani has no power outside of Damascus, and large parts of the country lie beyond his control. If these regions can unite to fight Al-Jolani, his days will be numbered, although doing that will also mean fighting Turkey, the United States and Israel. These Syrians who are against Al-Jolani and his terrorists, sadly have a tough fight ahead of them. But if they do not fight, they will be systematically targeted and destroyed. That is the Al-Jolani plan. To rid Syria of all minorities. In other words, the regime change operation of ousting President Assad is proceeding according to plan. Here, it is important to ask a pertinent question. Which country that the United States regime changed has been transformed into a paradise of democracy and human rights? What America is good at doing is taking stable countries, maligning their governments with malicious propaganda, toppling these governments, and then creating a hellscape, which Western media happily describes as democracy. Syria is yet another example of this successful policy. All the while, innocent people are brutalized and murdered. And Syria will likely become 4 mini-states. One under the control of Israel, one under Turkish control, one under the control of the United States, and one under the control of Russia. Was this why Russia folded so quickly in Syria and forcefully removed Assad? These 4 mini-states will all work together to protect and bolster Israel, which in turn will effectively look after the interests of its partners. Turkey, the United States and Russia. The point of all this bloodshed? To fully isolate Iran, because it is next on the regime change menu.